I'm going to show you how I teach at CDV game design, and what are the tools that we use at the university to teach these kind of things. Mostly, I've been researching all this technology at home because of the situation. So I'm going to show a demo of what I can, basically, just using my desktop computer here, and this is an Oculus Quest. It's one of those wireless VR devices. And the interesting thing about this device and this VR setup is that it's without any cables, so I can go wireless. And the great thing about this is that it has hand tracking. So for the first time, we're able to quickly prototype animations using our fingers as motion capture data for our characters. And I'm going to show you a quick workflow of how this is done using a software here on my VR device. And I will capture, I'm going to try to do this live while I'm on stream. And I'm going to try to capture this data and bring it into Blender. And from Blender, bring it into Unreal Engine so we can see it in a game engine. And the cool thing here is that Blender right now is a very, very powerful connection between Unreal Engine and basically bringing in prototyping using Blender. I know a lot of students really like to use Blender because it's a free tool and it's accessible, and a lot of people use it. It's also used in the professional market, but at the same time, the bigger players from the game design industry, they work on Maya, 3ds Max. So those software packages are also very powerful, and they are used every day in the game industry. So it's good to have a little bit of knowledge of both. So it's not usually the best idea to go all in into one, because we don't have the whole picture of what is possible right now. So it's good to at least know what's going on and be able to use the tools to basically do whatever you want. So you're not fighting with the tool, but you're actually using it to do what you want. So that's why Blender is very powerful right now, and students like it because they use it everywhere and it runs fast. So I'm going to use also Blender for this workflow and Unreal Engine to display whatever I'm able to capture. So the first step is to basically boot up the VR device. I'm going to share my screen right now, and if Dawid could just confirm that he will be able to see exactly what I see. Okay, 720p. No, I'll have to go 30 frames per second. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, cool. I want to try to show you guys is basically the VR device, because we're here for VR. So before we jump into all the craziness here, I'm going to show you what's going on in the VR in VR, right? So to stream VR, I use an app called SideQuest. SideQuest runs on our PC, and I'm connected by just the basic cable that comes with the device. And once I run the device, quit. Okay, so let the app run. All right. So so let me just reset the screen. So what you can see here is I'm in virtual reality as a character, right? And I'm able to use my hands to animate this character. And I can do pretty amazing things just with this simple setup. So I can't, move around with my legs, but the three tracking, so I'm tracking my headset, and I'm also tracking my hands, and that gives the character an inverse kinematic system where you can animate a character just by using your hands and your head as a motion capture device. And just so you know, we also have these kind of this headset at school, so you'll be able to test this out at school. So this is pretty much accessible technology right now. So I'm gonna just do a quick demo, and hopefully, if nothing crashes, I'll be able to show you this character in Blender and then in Unreal Engine interacting, or doing a simple animation. So I have a bunch of menus here that I can go through and edit, these things. But I'm not going to go through much in depth here. I'm just going to go to live. And this drops me into a new scene. And once I hit start recording, now there's two formats that I can broadcast this, save this data. Either it's BVH or FBX. So if you're into game design, you should already know what FBX is, which is a universal format for transmitting 3D models into a game environment. But we're going to use BVH because BVH is a smaller format that is used only for motion capture data. And being able to use this format enables me to bring a character into Blender and then try to rig him up, right? So you can see, so there's some pros from using BVH. That's very small and a fast format. And FBX works with most game engines, but the file is larger and it's a little bit more tricky to use. So I'm going to go into start recording and do a basic, some kind of animation that I'm going to try to save later and then put it into the engine, right, on my computer. So I'm going to start record. So it goes into 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Game Wizards. This is our stream where we're showing how to use virtual reality in practice. And I'm basically doing a demo here. So I'm just going to do some kind of, weird animation. The limitation of this technology right now is you can't kind of cross your hands too much because it messes up the tracking a little bit. But as long as you're, looking at your hands and rotating, and you can even, move around a little bit, although the character does lean back a little bit funny, but that's fine. Okay, we're going to stop this animation, this recording. So basically, I'm just going to pull my hands back and it's not recording. And I'm going to quickly export this before it crashes or anything like that. And just hit export animation. So I got a BVH export finish. And I'm able now to see the file that was where it was saved, right? So it's storage, emulate, Android data, Chilton, Glycon, BVH5 _ BVH. And this is the file path that I have to now go onto my computer and access it, right? So I'm going to take off the headset. We'll just delete the default cube because we never need the default cube. And then once you delete it, you actually notice that you need it, but that's just the way Blender works. We'll go into import, and Blender already out of the box supports motion capture, BVH. So we'll just jump right into this. We'll make sure we select scale FPS and also update scene duration and update scene FPS. So we get it in our correct format. And there you go. And if I hit play now, you can see my motion capture data is in Blender animating. And basically my performance is captured, and I'm able to use this as a custom animation driver for anything I would like to use in a character. So you can see all the glitches here that I did, which was crossing my hands. I did a little bit, of a walk to the left, to the right. I did a weird lean back, and then I tried to do it again, and then I'll probably stop the animation, right? So this animation takes around, 2,400 frames, and I would imagine this could be used greatly in game dev to actually make a NPC character or make some kind of storyline where a character introduces you into the story, or anything. You know, the sky is the limit where it comes to character design. But yeah, when we drop this into BVH and we hit render, we're not gonna see nothing exciting, right? We're just gonna see this block representation. It's called a armature in Blender. So what we want to do is to get this to look cool, either in Blender or to move it to a game engine like Unreal Engine and view it from there. So what we first need to do before we actually get this character going, we need a character. So where to get characters from, you may ask? Well, the best way, the easiest way to get characters is go to mixamo.com. And mixamo.com is a great resource for free animated characters that you can use in your student projects for free. And just basically use them. And it's also a great motion library for anything to do with motion capture. But we won't use any of their animations. We're going to just use a sample character. So yeah, okay, let's say that I like this guy, right? I'm not going to go to picky here, or actually I wanted some guy with a face. Let's see. Now maybe not. This model is a bit weird. Let's find something more cool. Let's say use this character. Or yeah, let's do something. Let's do something more human. We'll use this guy. This is a nice. It's like the old way they used to do motion capture before they had virtual reality devices. You had to basically be covered in all these spots, and that way we were able to get the animation. So we're just going to download the FBX in the T-pose, right? And we'll hit download. This takes usually just a few seconds, but sometimes it has to prepare the model. So we'll wait a moment. Downloading asset. Yes, something's happening. Here we go. All right, so we got our FBX. So I'm going to quickly import this. So I go File, Import, and Import FBX, right? Quickly go to this file, and it's called Passive Marker Man. Make sure, this is also sometimes tricky, to set this option, Automatic Bone Orientation. This helps for bringing in the character in the correct bone position. So there you go. He drops right in. The only problem is he's rotated 180 degrees for comparing to my motion capture, and I have to match him just about as exactly as I can before I do the transfer, right? So I'm just gonna hit R, and then Z and 180 on my keyboard, and that will just flip him to the other side. So I'm gonna just have a look here. If I hit tab, you can see my character goes into this kind of T-pose, and I can already see that my T-pose practically matches already just by a little bit here. But this might not be an issue. We'll see, because it's all right here. And I should be able to match this character. So I'm just going to move him to the side. I'll hit G and I'll hit G and X. Just move him to the side right here. And so I'm going to do the conversion, right? The animation, which is the cool part. Before I do any animation, I always need a plane. So I'm going to hit Shift A and hit plane, S to scale it up. So I have some kind of point of reference of what's going on my scene. So if I hit play right now, you can see just my character here. My motion capture is just animating, but not my character. And here comes in the plugin that was released just recently that really makes life easier. It's called Rokoko Studio Live. And Rokoko Studio Live is a company, Rokoko Studio, that released a really, I'm just gonna shamelessly plug them because they are making really cool things, because they release these tools for free for you to use in Blender, which is nice. And basically they make a motion capture suit where you can do this, but with your legs. So you can see that my motion capture is missing my legs because it doesn't have the trackers for it in Oculus, but it has my hand tracking, my fingers. They also have fingers, but they also have legs, and you can, walk around the space and do a very, very complex motion capture that would, normally take very dedicated hardware to do. And they basically figured it out, and they dropped this really cool plugin for Blender that works for free. And basically, we're interested in the retargeting here. So what I'm gonna do is select my source target, which with the color picker here, click him, and then just select my object armature, that is this guy here, and hit bone list, build bone list. Now here's the magic. Normally this takes sometimes a couple of hours to do, and thanks to this, it nearly did it mostly automatically, and I'm able to just make sure everything looks here right. So I'm just gonna make sure that it connected. So let's have a look at toe. Left toe base, left toe end. Maybe it's not used. Basically, all this has to connect to this because this armature, usually armatures have different bone naming conventions, and this software basically helps you to rig this up, right? So I'm just gonna see, because sometimes, index, this character doesn't have a left hand index 4, it just has up to 3, so that's why I didn't get it. I usually just go here and have a look and just type in and see if I'm missing anything, because if you miss something, then left hand thumb. Right, I have a left hand thumb here, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm just gonna select left thumb 1, see if that actually, no, sorry, that's okay, because I already have left thumb here 1. You know what, I'm just gonna leave it at automatic. Let's have a look if does this character have eyes. Yes, it does. It has a left eye and right eye, but I wasn't using any motion capture from my phone, so I don't have this data in the BVH right here. Right hand index, right hand. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I think it rigged it actually really good. Hopefully it's gonna just work if I retard again. Okay, fingers crossed if this will work. I'm just gonna hit retarget animation. Now, usually making these kind of transfers of keyframes really slows down your computer, or may slow down your computer. The nice thing about at least what I've been found testing using Rokoko Studio Live to do these transfers, that it works really fast on the import, and this is kind of a long animation. It's over 2,200 frames. So just let's see if this will work. Oh, okay. Okay, so there we go. So we have our character. Let me just get rid of these bones in the armature so it doesn't get in the way. And there you go. We have just transferred our animation that we recorded in real time on VR into a character. Let me just get rid of this BVH also so it doesn't get in the way. Into a character that is animating exactly the way I did it just now, which is really cool. I can you can see that how organic, not including the glitches, but if you're patient, you should be able to avoid any glitches and just do the animation the way you want it. But that's exactly what I'm saying. So just know the limitations of the technology, and you should be able to create compelling animations of characters just by using this simple technique of transferring bone animation from a virtual reality device that they have very good motion tracking virtual reality devices, the whole virtual reality, basically VR, and that's why we are able to capture this. So if you think about this is a combination of machine learning, because the Oculus Quest is capturing your finger motion and using Facebook's algorithm to basically bring your hands into 3D. And that way we're able to capture that data, bring it into an engine, and have it in Blender, right? So we have it in Blender, which is cool. I see around 10 more minutes. I'll try to show as much as I can in this short time. And yeah, this is cool. And basically, if I just hit render, I should be able to see my character as he is in real life, right? I usually, just for preview and just for aesthetic reasons, I like to use they call it a HDRI. HDRIs are these high resolution 360 images that you can bring to your scene, and that way you can have a look at how your how your 3D model will look in a particular light situation. So I'm just going to import a 4K texture, and for the background controls I need to sync the sun, so coming from here kind of. And I also like to colorize in the mix so it's not too bright, so the character stands a little bit. And I also add a shadow catcher, which basically does in the scene kind of, and switch on HDRI projections. Okay. Once we have a look here, I'm just jumping in the camera. I'm gonna tell you how this all works in a moment, but just this is a plugin that I use just to make this workflow really fast, because I have no patience to basically work with if we go into shading and you start to look how much work well, this is not that much work, but it is some work that you need to do in order to connect all the nodes required for Blender to show this kind of scene in real time in the render engine and be able to render it out. So I'm just going to quickly select the camera, because you can see I have a little issue here where the camera is clipping. So I'll just get rid of that using the end clicker. And there you go. I'll just put the camera into animation, hit play, hit shift tilde, and yeah, and just basically slowly move my mouse and just, show the scene maybe. Yeah, I'm just showing you how to quickly create a really cool looking animation just by using my mouse, Blender, and I already imported this character. So yeah, this is a little bit slow on my computer, so I'm gonna switch to a more kind of preview friendly format where I can animate this more in real time. So I'll just quickly switch back. So I can also zoom in, have a look at him from close, and then go back, do a little, rotation. I'm doing this really roughly. And there you go. And if we run this animation now, you can see that it's the camera is rotating the way I recorded it with my mouse. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. Basically, you can use this to record animation. One last thing I want to show you is, once you record camera like this, it's very useful to basically smooth this out. So we use a simple technique in the graph editor. We select all the keyframes here and go to key and sample. It's called sample keyframes, right? And then go key and go smooth keys. Alt O, yeah, so just hitting Alt O will smooth out those keys. And if I now go to my camera preview and hit play, you can see that my camera movement is a lot smoother. So it's more fluid. It's more like a kind of Steadicam effect. So even though my mouse was, was going all around the screen, I was able to smooth it out basically. And this looks really cool, right? And to finish this off, I would probably, render it out, show it as a short film, add audio to it, and also motion capture using your face, because you can use a phone. And this is the last bit I want to try to just quickly show you. If we connect, I'm just going to show quickly my phone. The new app that they released, that basically Epic is promoting the way you can capture real-time face data for character design. It's called Live Link. Let me just quickly reset this. And this is how it looks. It basically is a motion capture power horse that you're able to use to capture all the performances you have of a face capture, and then bring it into a character like this. And to do this, you would have to also connect it. And this works pretty well also, and it works through Unreal Engine. But the first thing you need to do is to bring this character into Unreal Engine. And to finish off, I'm not going to show you how to connect the whole scene with the character with face. You'd have to join my lessons to learn more about that at school. But I'll be able to show you something really cool that you can use today, right now, which is a really big game changer, at least for me and for a lot of people that work in game engines, is the new, I'm just going to launch Unreal Engine. So I have Unreal Engine here, and here's the magic trick here that a lot of people have been waiting for this to happen in the engine. Now you see this cube here? That's cool. Usually when you want to export something into Unreal Engine, you need to go File, Export, FBX, name it, then go into Unreal Engine and import the file, and then you're able to place it on the scene, right? But they made this a lot easier right now. And basically, if I want this cube in Unreal Engine, all I need to do right now is go to Pipeline, and this is a new plugin that they released. Go Export and send to Unreal. But before I do that, I need to place this cube in the mesh area, basically. Blender, if you install the plugin, adds 3 more kind of collections here, which is mesh, rig, and extras. And if you put whatever objects into the mesh and hit Pipeline, Export, send to Unreal, and go into Untitled Asset, you can see our cube is in Unreal. And yeah, okay, this is pretty cool. And what if I want to edit this cube? Well, you still can. Normally, you would have to edit it in Unreal Engine and play around. But now, I jump back into Blender, and I'll just do a simple, kind of. The more the simple, the better. And I'll just throw in a bevel modifier just to make it, a bit more eye-pleasing. And just something like that, just so we have some kind of reference. And all right, yeah, so something like that. And nice thing is that you're actually modeling here in real scale. So I'm going to just hit again, Pipeline, Export, send to Unreal. And there you go, live. My model from Blender is already in Unreal Engine, and I'm able to view it in virtual reality. If I go into VR mode, I'll be able to put on my glasses and watch it in VR. And yeah, and I can start texturing it here in Unreal Engine and doing all the cool things that you're able to do in Unreal Engine. And you can see how fast this is, right? I can practically, you can, you know, keep on working in Blender, doing whatever, and just, you know, building your model and just hitting pipeline, export, send to Unreal, and our changes get updated in real time in the engine. All right. Sorry for that. That would be it from me. I think I'm hitting the 50-minute mark. Can you hear me, Dawid? Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So that was the presentation, the main presentation. If there's any questions that were on the stream, let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Or if anybody wants to.
Have a couple of questions. Can I animate whole movement of a character using Blender?
Yes, you can. You can animate a whole character using Blender. You'd probably do that using if you wanted to do your own animations, you would need a motion capture suite or, to basically capture it. But if you want to go the easy way and start playing around with it, then the best place, like I already said, is Mixamo, where you can get really high quality motion capture data that you would probably won't be able to capture at home using the hardware that we have, even if we tried really hard. And you can edit this to your own liking also, which is nice, just by using these basic things, and just, click download, hit FBX and download it with 60 frames per second. You don't need keyframe reduction. And once you download this model, you'll be able to drop it directly into Blender and animate it.
Okay, so we have another question. Also, is it possible to capture and save whole animations using Blender to export it later into Unreal Engine 4?
Yes, the short answer is. The long answer is it depends on what you're exporting, because you will have a different, like I showed here with the send to Unreal pipeline. If you have a mesh, you'll be able to just throw it into the mesh. If you have a rig, you throw it into the rig. And yeah, it's a good question actually. Let me just quickly do something really dumb here, just to make sure if this will work this way. So I'm just gonna add a keyframe with a location. Hit G and just move this up and move this down. I don't know, just keep on moving it. All right. Yeah, okay, something like that. And I'm wondering if this animation will transfer to Unreal now. Pipeline, export, send to Unreal. Hit play. Oh. Okay, so the pipeline does not update animations. You would have to animate this in Unreal. Although if you want to animate in Blender and actually bring these animations into Unreal, you would have to do it the old classical way, which is through FBX. Just export FBX. I'm just going to quickly try to do this, and so you can see animation, and just make sure you have selected bake animation. Hit export FBX. And now if I go into my desktop, there's animation.fbx. I should be able to just drag and drop this, hit import all, and there's I think there should be something, import animations. You have to select that, import all. And this drops in my animation. So I'm just gonna quickly put this here. hit play, and yeah, there you go. So we have our, let me fly here. Yeah, so I can see something. So we have our animation in Blender, and the second model is from the pipeline. And you can see here that there's quite a difference here, actually. I don't know if this is to do with my FBX export options, but the model from Blender looks to be brought in a little bit more sharper than the one that I exported from FBX, but that may be some settings. So yeah, short answer, it's possible. You can do pretty much anything just by using these two export functions through, which is file, export, FBX, and then you're able to drop in animations.
Okay, thank you. We have another question. Where can I find more of your videos in this topic?
Well, more of my videos are basically I post mainly on my mepi-pl website, which is this repository of all the models. I mean, sorry, all the tutorials that I've made. One classic course that I made. Let me just go into incognito so I'm able to see this to show you this link. Oh, come on! All right. So yeah, so this is one of our one of the courses. It's called Kurs Grafika 3D. Should be on Udemy. Oh, sorry, let me just try again. I don't know what's Udemy is all over the place, I guess. Yeah, so if you go into mepi-pl, you can find me here, and all the links. Usually, most of my recent things that I post are on my YouTube channel, where you can find all the things that I kind of experiment with, and you can find a bunch of things here that I wasn't able to show in the short 50-minute presentation. But there's also 3D scanning that I do, and 3D scanning is a really exciting new way to bring in 3D models into our scenes, and it all works also through Blender, 3ds Max, Maya, ZBrush, whatever your tool is, whatever your tools of creations are. It doesn't really matter right now. What matters is what you can do with them, right? And that's what I try to, because everybody asks, what tool should I use? What tool should I actually be better at? And you know what? It doesn't matter. You just use tool, whatever the tool that you use you're most comfortable with. Just use it and try to get the goal, or the thing that you want to do, right? For me, it was being able to model quickly in Blender, and being able to do that quickly now, and just by dropping in models and quickly prototype, because Blender is such a fast tool for doing all this. I'm able to work faster this way. And this new pipeline sent to Unreal, you can get it from Unreal's GitHub. And they also, I know that they have been promoting, this is fresh news. This was released yesterday. That's what I heard. And you can also export from Unreal into Blender, model in Blender, and then bring it back into Unreal, which is also another topic that we could cover. Are there any more questions?
Yes, one more. Okay, so I need to bake it first, then import it, right? Probably this is the question from the same person who asked about is it possible to capture and save whole animation?
Right. Yeah, you would need to bake your textures to your models in order for them to go into the engine, or just export them individually from Blender and then bring them into Unreal and just attach them using the blueprints or whatever. So yeah, you're basically able to do that. I heard that the pipeline should soon support textures, which is just will make life a whole lot easier for a lot of artists, that you won't be able to worry about it, that the textures, because that's usually a big problem once you design something in Blender and then have a look at it later in a different program. It usually, in different 3D package, it usually looks different. So yeah, I was doing some more tests here of, you know, just of this whole workflow, and it works pretty well. It's actually, this is another example where I, you know, just had a character and just dropped them in and started recording and experimenting and seeing how this works out altogether.
Okay, thank you. And I think the last one, do you need some special weather conditions or special lighting to 3D scan an object into Unreal Engine 4/Unity?
I'll take, okay, we'll finish off with this last question, which is really cool. I wanted to show you guys because, let me just quickly, I hope I'm not taking up times of other guys, but I'll just quickly try to show you exactly how this works. Basically, the short answer to this question is yes, you can do it, and the best lighting is the natural light that you'll find at home or just next to your window. So in practice, this would work like this. So I have my screen shared, and I use an app called Clone, educational version, of course. And I even set up here a shoe, right? And I'm going to try to scan quickly the shoe and finish off this stream with this. And you can see here, this is just normal daylight, nothing too fancy. And I'm just going to walk around the model and you'll able to see how this works. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep on talking over it. Hopefully you can still hear me a little bit. So yeah, I'm using a shoe. Shoes are really good at 3D scanning. They come out really nice. I don't know why. A lot of people like to scan shoes, but that's why I'm scanning a shoe also. It's kind of funny, like the whole subculture of people that just scans shoes. And yeah, because they come out really nice in 3D scanning. Mainly because 3D scanning depends on the features. So the more features your model has, the more it has points of interest, the better the scan comes out, right? Now I'm using just my iPhone, and I know that the school, TDP, Collegium Da Vinci, has these devices in their workshops. So you should be able to do the same things using it from school, right? I'm just quickly finishing off the scan. Now the lighting conditions here aren't great, but they're just about fine to see, right? So we'll do this walk. All right. And yeah, okay, finished. So this is processing on my phone, which is amazing if you think about it. Works on the faster the phone, of course, the better. And there you go. This is my model. It's not perfect. You can see this 3D scanning isn't really nice, isn't really, high super quality, but it's what you know what they say, it's good enough. And I'm able to, if I do a second pass here, you can see on the right hand side here, right here, there's a button that I can lie down the object and it will merge two scans. I'm not going to do the second scan right now because it'll take too much time. And that will basically deliver an even higher quality model that you're able to export. So yeah, this app just makes life a whole bunch easier because I can export to FBX, STL, OBJ, USDZ, which are all the main formats, or even on Sketchfab. And you also do a low poly or high poly version, which is really nice if you want to go into low poly. There, this scan is ready, game ready, I would say, in this context. And yeah, and I'm gonna just quickly The app has this kind of feature where you're able to, to quickly place a copy of the shoe in AR and have a look at it. So 3D scanning, very exciting, and it works in game engines. You're able to export it, get excited about it. It works in apps, and hopefully you'll be able to test it out soon.